Kamen Rider Zi-O.
Hey YouTube, Kamen Rider here with my review of Kamen Rider Zi-O Episode 3 and my camera angle's fixed. It was really weird in the Lupin Ranger review. I couldn't figure out what I didn't like about it. There was just so much space up here, but now it's fixed. Anyway, so this week was the beginning of the two-part X8 tribute episodes. So, first of all, let me say, first of all, I haven't watched 3.5 yet. I do plan on watching it. Hashtag boycott the 0.5s. Maybe I'll just make that a tradition. Just watch the 0.5 for the episode I'm reviewing after I review it, and then be prepared for the next talk. That'd be classic DOS. I'm just totally unprepared. But I did watch 2.5, and I just wanted to address those. I mean, they are neat little fun. I can't remember if I addressed it last episode, but like I did watch the 1.5 one, which that one didn't need as much explaining. It felt just more fun. Like they basically went over the events of the episode, which were actually explained in the episode, and then they did like a little bit about Gates' name, spelling, pronunciation, which was really funny to me because like that bothered me, that it's not just Gates like G-A-T-E-S. But yeah, but like 2.5's was more necessary. Again, it did just go over the events you already saw, but it sort of explained it because episode 2 I felt was a little disjointed. So those are neat. I do agree with some people that it kind of sucks. You have to watch the supplementary content if you want to sort of get it, but at the same time it's a fun thing. I'm not sure how those air. Did they air like after, kind of like a post-credit scene? I don't know. It's not like it's taxing though. It's like, what, 2 minutes? Anyway, but yeah, so I haven't seen 3.5 yet, but it did kind of clarify things. Like, I got some of it, and it wasn't like a huge deal, but it was just so messy, and I think I got it. I'll address that, something about that at the end. But this was basically X8's episode. We got kind of some just setting up stuff at the beginning where they're like, oh yeah, Gates and What's-Her-Face are going to go to school with you, which is really weird. Speaking of, I kind of wish Gates wasn't a part of that kind of like core cast group. Not like a main cast member, but I mean, I thought he was going to kind of be independent off to the side, like watching from afar. And it's kind of weird to me that he's kind of just a part of like those main characters, because I thought he was going to be much more of a semi-antagonist, so I'm a little disappointed by that. There was definitely some funny moments there, like when Sogo's going about his day, when he's going about his day. I'll be for all video. Wait, I'll be here for all video. I can't even do the joke right. I just said I'll be all video. Kamen Rider 2018. I almost said 2019. Thank God I didn't mess that one up. Anyway, but like where Gates is like following him everywhere, like it just kind of deadpan goes to him like boom, boom, like wherever he's at, like the bathroom, the gym, whatever. And you know, he ends up going in the storage room where he finds somebody playing the X8 game. They get the gamer. There's a version of the gamer virus going around, and they're trying to find Genius Gamer M. And I think that, you know, that Time Jacker giving them an X8 power in the past obviously messed them up, so they're not X8 right now. You know, they're not. That Rider world doesn't exist in a way, if you know what I mean. Like, that's how it works. Basically, from what, after you think about it and you watch 2.5, when they Time Jackers give a, I'm just going to explain this for anyone that's confused, but also talking myself through this again, give another Rider power. It like deletes the power from the Rider. Like, only one Rider can exist at a time. So think of it like in Dino Thunder, where there couldn't be 2 White Rangers. So he gives him an X8, I always think of the DK, X8 one, and then boom, no more X8, because there can only be one at a time. And then once it's destroyed, X8 exists again, but then once Zi-O gets that power, he in essence becomes that Rider, or at least takes his power, so he gets erased again. So that's not, I mean, it is a little bit weebly-wobbly, timey-wimey confusing, a little bit unnecessarily confusing, especially the way they tackled it in episode 2. But my question is, where do the Ride Jackers get the power? Like, the power-ups is kind of direct. Like, okay, Build, I'm Build, here's my powers, boom, Zi-O, you have Build's powers now. Build doesn't have those powers anymore. But where did the Time Jacker get these powers? Like, he's just like, oh, I'm just going to order this from HLJ. Or he's like, boom, I just really want an X8 power. Boom, it's right there. So I'm curious where they get those. I'm really hoping the mythology behind where the Ride Watches and the Jiku drivers come from is explained. I brought this up on Twitter, and a couple people also like inquired, like, well then, if for that matter, where do Gates' watches come from? That's a good question. I hope that's addressed as well, but I think that was a little bit easier for me, because I think he has the future versions of those watches. Meaning, like, this is just my headcanon right now. For example, he could have a Build watch from the future where it exists, where Oma Zi-O maybe got it and he got it from him or whatever, and then, you know, Zi-O's getting it in the present, if that makes any sense, because people are like, oh, there's not going to be Drive and Ghost tribute episodes. I actually don't know that. I didn't follow enough of the behind the scenes stuff, but pretend that we don't know for sure that there's not going to be. I don't think that necessarily means they won't do anything for Driver Ghost. I think that those are the future versions of those watches, if that makes any sense. But yeah, stuff like that is a little bit confusing. I just want to know where the Time Jackers get the powers, though. Like, how do they get their hands on a ride watch power that's, in essence, the other rider's power? But yeah, basically, after they destroy, or defeat, for the temporary defeat, because they aren't using the right powers, the X-Aid one, X-Aid actually can become X-Aid, and he transforms. That's kind of where the episode ends. And like I said, I was mentioning Gates' other watches. He went drive in this episode, so we got to see that a little bit. But it was solid. I'm still a little bit mixed on it. I think there's some fun stuff in this series. I'm still in that Decade realm where I'm just kind of enjoying it for what it is. I am intrigued by some of the stuff. We got introduced to, unless we met her before, the Wool's friend, Wooly. That's not right. I don't remember her name right now. But she was the kind of the primary driving force behind her plan, and we find out they all kind of have people they want to become king in the future. I do kind of fear that, because it's an interesting situation, isn't it? Like, this is different than Decade, where Decade's like known as the destroyer of worlds, but then he's going to each rider world and helping them, trying to debunk Decade's almost a relationship, a reputation. But in this one, he's kind of trying to do the same thing, where he's like, okay, well, I will become a king, but I'll be a good king. But according to history, roughly, like, Zi-O took all the riders' powers, and he's doing that just like in a nicer way. Like, yeah, and it's kind of like a complicated situation, because if he doesn't destroy these other riders, they'll go on attacking people. But then he needs the riders' powers to destroy them. But by, like, when he got build powers last week, he messed with Build's timeline in this universe. So the same thing's probably gonna happen with X-Aid, where he gets the power and then it erases X-Aid. So it's like he's doing kind of a good thing, but then he's also doing a bad thing by messing with the timeline, which leads to, you know, the Oma Zi-O future. And then you have Woz coming around being like, yeah, on this date you went to this hospital, which makes it seem like that's what is not confusing, but that's what I'm most curious about. Like, when we first started, I thought Oma Zi-O, like the original recipe Zi-O, maybe went around in a more malicious way for whatever reason. Although he did start from the same point, but at some point went around in a more malicious way. And this is like a new version of events where he's thinking he's doing good. But the fact that, like, Woz will show up and say, yeah, here it says this and this, like, you went to this hospital, like, this is what Sogo did on this day to become Zi-O, makes it feel preordained. Like, all this stuff where he's like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna be, like, it's a loop where he's thinking, okay, I'm gonna stop me from becoming this evil king, but that's always the way it went. Like, no straight lines, you know, it's not the way it works, and it's just a loop. Because, like, my fear is that I want him to be Oma Zi-O. Like, I don't want the series to end with, oh, and then he became the evil overlord and killed everyone. The end. Ready for 2019's Rider? What I mean is that I don't want it to find out that Oma Zi-O is someone else. I think that's one of the most interesting aspects of Sogo's character to me, is that he will eventually become this evil overlord, and I want to see those two face off, and I want to see the decisions that led to him becoming evil in that timeline. Because we're doing like a crazy time travel story where nothing really... It's already a mess, because a lot of the Rider worlds are in separate worlds anyway, but they're acting like they're one timeline, so it's already a mess. So we could easily have it so he changes time, but then that evil Oma Zi-O world still exists, so you could have Pinnacle of Good Zi-O in his final form facing off against his Pinnacle of Evil self. Kind of like Lord Draken and Dr. Otami. Like, so, yeah, I want to see that, but my fear is that somebody else is Oma Zi-O, and he uses Sogo's basically good heart and intentions to become Oma Zi-O. Like, he's manipulating him to go through all these battles, like, oh, we gotta save people from these other riders and take these rider powers, and it seems kind of innocent to him, and then he just keeps gathering rider powers while he's trying to save people, and then whoever this person is, you know, takes the system and has Oma Zi-O. Yeah, so that's my fear. There could be neat aspects to that, but I don't know. That's what I'm most fascinated in time travel stories, is like, what came first, egg or chicken, you know? It seems like right now, like, it's just no straight lines, time loop. But we'll have to see. But I hope he is the actual thing and it's not somebody else. It very well could be future him manipulating it, and I don't know. We'll see. Bottom line, I got way away from that with theories. This episode I thought was solid and enjoyable. I would give it a 7. Looking forward to next week. I will watch 3.5 before then, and I'll try to watch 4.5 before I record next review, but no promises. I mean, that takes upwards of 2 minutes. Could I stop the video right now, go watch it, and then come back? Yes, but am I going to do that? No. Am I a hero? I can't say for certain, but no. Anyway, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, don't forget to climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get the notifications for all my videos. Dawson Rider, signing out.